What up, WeHo? On February 14th, West Hollywood celebrates Valentine's Day. I plan on spending the holiday in a polygamous relationship with my two true loves, Ben and Jerry. Welcome to WeHoTV News. Feel the love, West Hollywood. I'm Mike Siriaco, and I'm bringing you everything you need to know about WeHo, courtesy of the city of West Hollywood. If you spent the past month popping popcorn for the impeachment hearings, you may miss out on some important news. Don't sweat it, because we're going to catch up to speed with the WeHo Wind-Up. Let's put 30 seconds on the clock. West Hollywood honored Martin Luther King Jr. with a day of service. Women's reproductive rights were affirmed at the Roe v. Wade 47th anniversary commemoration. The queer kids of WeHo got some new threads courtesy of the LGBT youth clothing drive. Tensions ran high between the US and Iran, and the state of Illinois legalized recreational cannabis. Finally, I can get some Chicago-style deep dish edibles. Roll up those rolling papers and roll out these news briefs. City of West Hollywood's Be Well WeHo Mindfulness series offered a UCLA memory training class. It provided memory exercises to help you keep track of your keys, phones, or other personal items, such as keys, phones, or other personal items, such as
You're doing it again.
Yep, and if you don't remember me doing the exact same joke last year, maybe you need a UCLA memory training class. The City of West Hollywood's Be Well WeHo Mindfulness series also offered a class on organization, which gave you steps to create a clear path for good flow in your life. Think of it as an episode of Hoarders for your soul. Women in Books met to discuss Normal People by Sally Rooney. It shouldn't be confused with the book Normal People by the National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws. That book is made entirely out of hemp and includes a really amazing brownie recipe. Women in Film hosted a screening of member-directed short films. It featured more female directors in one night than the Academy Awards had in the past 2 years. Let's be honest, it was more than the Academy Awards had in the past 92 years. And finally, Seniors in Action, Community, Connection, Conversation returned this month, giving participants a chance to learn something new, contribute their talents and experience, and deepen their connection within the West Hollywood community. In honor of this event, we'd like to shine a light on this senior in action, Betty White, who turned 98 years old this January. A fun fact, Betty was born in 1922. Sliced bread was introduced in 1928, which means sliced bread is the best thing since Betty White. Thank you for being a friend, Betty. And thank you for watching these news briefs. Oh, did you hear? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are facing a severe backlash after announcing they will be stepping away from their royal family obligations. It's the harshest treatment against members of royalty since Frozen 2 was snubbed by the Oscars. Let it go. Let it go. Recently, Netflix started streaming the newest season of the Boulet Brothers' Dragula. What started as a live drag competition event right here in the Los Angeles area has mutated into the small screen's edgiest drag series. While it may share many similarities to RuPaul's Drag Race, Dragula's biggest strengths are in its differences. It embraces the countercultural roots of drag by featuring the freaks and geeks of the Dragoverse over the shinier cast of queens who populate Drag Race. Dragula simultaneously normalizes drag for mainstream audiences while also keeping its punk rock edge with hardcore extermination challenges that include being buried alive, eating pig brains, and a real-life game of Operation where contestants had to remove organs from a cadaver, and if their hands slipped, they'd receive 6,000 volts of electricity. The series is definitely worth a watch for the shock value alone. Keep it creepy, queens. Now let's sashay away from drag queens and shantay over to dancing queens as we take a little field trip over to the chapel. What up, WeHo? Tonight we are here at the chapel to gaze upon Heavenly Bodies. It combines three of West Hollywood's favorite things: the performance arts, trans representation, and fabulous nightlife. So let's kiki with some of these dazzling stars.
Heavenly Bodies is an all-trans party just celebrating the beauty of trans women.
It started out as a great place for the trans entertainers and performers to showcase themselves, but it really is now developing into an all-inclusive queer party. So people who identify as non-binary or gender fluid, they feel comfortable coming here because if the trans community is welcome, then they feel a little more welcome.
Now, this is to benefit the Trans Wellness Center. For those who are unfamiliar with it, what is the Trans Wellness Center?
The Trans Wellness Center is somewhere where trans women or anybody who's trans can go and seek help or have a mentor to anything that they're going through.
Now, for all our non-trans viewers, what is the best advice you can give them to be strong allies to the trans community?
Be a good listener. Sometimes we just need to tell our stories. We're human beings too, just trying to live a good life like everybody else.
Just treat us normal. We don't want to be treated different. We just want to be treated equally. And that's the main thing. So as long as you're working from love, then that's all that matters.
Come check out Heavenly Bodies and gaze upon these trans stars for yourself. Even though Heavenly Bodies is over for the month, let's keep looking to the stars. February is Black History Month, so we'd like to explore a television show that helped normalize African American representation in mainstream media with our Salute to Star Trek. This iconic 1960s sci-fi series was notable for its multi-ethnic cast, which included Nichelle Nichols as Lieutenant Uhura, who was one of the first Black characters on American television to appear in a feature role. It was also relevant for its on-camera kiss between Uhura and William Shatner's Captain Kirk, which was one of the first interracial kisses on American television. Initially, NBC executives were nervous of how this would be received by some viewers and ordered 2 takes to be shot, one with the kiss and one without. So after they successfully shot the version with the kiss, Shatner and Nichols purposely flubbed every take of the other version so that the editors had to use the kiss in the final cut. Nichols' visibility in mainstream media was so important that when she was considering leaving the series, Martin Luther King Jr. personally urged her to reconsider, claiming that Star Trek was the only show that he would allow his children to stay up late to watch. According to an interview with Nichols, when they discussed her leaving the show, Dr. King said, "You can't. You're a part of history." And because of her place in history, we can all aspire to live long and prosper, no matter our gender, orientation, or race. And for more on Dr. King, we now go to Eddie Robinson.
Celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through service, I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News. January 20th is Martin Luther King Day throughout the nation, and the city of West Hollywood embraces Dr. King's call to action each year with a day of service. This year's event took place at West Hollywood Elementary, where volunteers performed various landscaping, cleanup, painting, and other beautifying tasks at the school. In addition, volunteers collected non-perishable food items for the Jewish Family Services SOVA Food and Community Resource Program, and donations of new and used clothing and shoes for the Los Angeles LGBT Center's Youth Center. Visit WeHo.org for more ways to give back to the community and commemorate our national heroes year-round. I'm Eddie Robinson, WeHoTV News. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks, Eddie. Now we go from Dr. King's dream to the silver screen. This year's Academy Awards will be held on February 9th, although it once again neglected to include accolades for many diverse characters and artists, both on camera and behind the lens. So we'd like to showcase some of our favorites with this year's West Hollywards. Best Director, Greta Gerwig. Not only was Gerwig snubbed for a Best Director nomination for her critically acclaimed Little Women, not a single woman was nominated for the category this year. In fact, a female director hasn't been nominated for an Oscar since Gerwig was nominated for Lady Bird back in 2018. Moreover, since its inception in 1929, the Academy has only awarded Best Director to one woman, Kathryn Bigelow for The Hurt Locker, way back in 2009. Come on, Academy. The reason women aren't winning this category isn't because of a lack of talent, it's because you are ignoring their talent. Best Supporting Actress, Jennifer Lopez. Another fierce female who was snubbed this year was J-Lo for her buzzworthy performance in Hustlers. She was one of many actresses of color who were overlooked this year, including Awkwafina and Lupita Nyong'o. In fact, the only woman of color to be nominated for acting this year is Cynthia Erivo's Best Actress nod as the eponymous star of Harriet. It's okay, J-Lo. Even if the Academy gave you the cold shoulder, West Hollywood still loves you. And our love don't cost a thing. And Jenny from the Block isn't the only vocalist to be shut out by the Oscars this year, so we'd like to award another talented actor and singer, Best Actor, Taron Egerton. Granted, the competition for this category was tight this year, but Egerton's turn as queer music icon Elton John in Rocketman inevitably draws comparison to last year's winner, Rami Malek's somewhat sterilized version of Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. The biggest contrast is, while Malek's voice was often mixed with Mercury's, Egerton completely sang his role himself, which is pretty important when starring in a musician's biopic. Hey Taron, who cares about the Oscars? You just earned yourself a West Hollywood. And to the rest of West Hollywood, see you at the movies. The Academy may have snubbed a lot of performers, but WeHo is holding close its tiniest dancers. For more on this, we go to Nick Catelli.
They say that song and dance is the ultimate expression for a baby. That and throwing food on the floor. I'm Nick Catelli for WeHoTV News, joined by Nico Catelli, and we're gonna baby boogie down. Am I right? Oh? I think he says yes. The Cookie Monster scandal that's going right now in Sesame Street, sir. Oh, he is not happy about that.
The City of West Hollywood's Recreation Services Division's Baby Boogie class allows you to have amazing interaction playtime with your baby through the art of song and dance. Children, along with parents or caregivers, get to play peekaboo, play with instruments, sing, dance, and there's even a story time.
Stomp, clap, clap, ding, dong. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, wonder what you are.
Their creativity, they really socialize with other kids, and it brings out their goofy side. I think that kids do need education, but they also need to express themselves through music and dance. So this is definitely a great class for those artsy parents.
So are you saying that I too am an artsy parent?
You definitely are.
All right, good. I might have you call my mom later to, tell her that. Oh, that's me. Yeah, I'm a daddy. Goodbye, everyone. It's time to say goodbye. Yeah. Well, I know the music was, I thought it was very good selections. I told you we can't be pumping that hard 80s rock anymore. That freaks out other kids. You got it? All right. For more information about classes like this or just anything going on in the city of West Hollywood, visit WeHo.org. Again, I'm Nick, and this is Nico Catelli for WeHoTV News. And we could use some warm milk and a nap. Well, I know I can. I don't know about you. Well, maybe you too.
Thanks, Nick. And for more performing arts in WeHo, we go back to Eddie Robinson.
Warm up your winter with sounds that are sure to set the vibe. I'm Eddie Robinson, and this is WeHoTV News. The City of West Hollywood recently welcomed the Nick Mancini Quartet to the West Hollywood City Council chambers as a part of its Winter Sounds indoor concert series. Nick Mancini has performed with artists such as Arturo Sandoval, Pancho Sanchez, and Solange, to name a few. And this free event series is an opportunity to reach an even broader audience.
High quality music opens up an avenue for thinking and feeling different ways than we normally would think and feel. And I think that especially in a crowded, complex cities where life can get very heavy and difficult, to be able to come and witness a concert like this and take in music that is maybe not exactly radio friendly, I suppose, but very thought-provoking, is important for average people because it gets them thinking and feeling and acting on a higher plane.
Visit WeHo.org for more cultural events to help you celebrate the season. I'm Eddie Robinson, WeHoTV News. Back to you, Mike.
We'd like to wish everyone here in West Hollywood and across the globe a happy, healthy Valentine's Day. We'll be back next month with more news, noise, and nonsense. Until then, keep it cute, WeHo.